What's going on, guys? So today on this 00CTOBER review, we're continuing Jinx Week. It's a week. You should have gathered. We're going to be many videos. Now, of course, last time we looked at the A-Laws Jinx, and we're going a little bit further now. And actually from a different series entirely. So we're going the way of Build Fighters. And if you guys remember from one of the final Battelogues we got, we saw this bad boy, the Striker GNX. Or Jinx. You guys know how it is. And of course you get a great image of the Jinx right there doing its thing. Got the 4 glowing sensor eyes there. Very green color. Ginormous cannon shooting off over here. And you got a couple other little Jinxies going on right there. And you got, of course, this is Mario Renato's mobile suit. So this is actually, if you remember the Renato brothers from the first Build Fighters, this is their younger brother. So he gets his own mobile suit, more or less. And of course, if you come down here, you've got action GN Smart Gun. I don't know why it's a smart gun, but it is. That's pretty cool. And you got a backpack. Alright, and you've got a thing right there. GN Beam Super Unit, GN Smart Gun. I don't know why they don't just call it a GN bayonet. Either way. GN Defense Rods. Okay, so basically they took the arm shield thingies and turned them into spinny shoulder shield thingies. I don't know. GN Defense Rods. Arms unfold. Yes, they do. Additional armor. It has a lot of additional armor. So basically this thing is like a Jinx 4, I believe it is, and it's customized. So, very big differences here. And you've got, right there, weapons and type GBF stuff going on. Recreate the battle scene by combining it with the Shorty Saga type GBF. And of course, as you see there, BandaiHobby.net. And then Battelogue, number 65 in the line, Striker GNX, all the things. And you've got a thing right there about Gunpla Battle and all the website stuff right there. And you come to that, you get the obligatory rear and front shot of the green boy, looking pretty cool. Actually really dig the aesthetics of this thing. Actually, Rodimus13 reviewed this quite a while ago, and that's one reason why I got it. Before I decided the Jinx Week was going to be a thing. Now, if you want to read that up right there, you can totally do that. Moving on, and you've got right there 3-year-olds that don't like Striker Jinxes in their face because they have really big guns and those hurt. Yep. And you got a little guy with the toilet right there, 2,000 yen. Very affordable kit considering how much comes in it. You got illustration is by Koma, background image is by Saito Yoshinobu. So unlike the other 00 kits, this thing is done by the same guy who does all the Build Fighters kits. So, new Striker Jinx. Still upside down. Alright, let's get to the next one. Haha! Didn't see that coming, did you? This is a 2-for review. So, because it's from the same episode, we've got the Jinx 14. Sorry. The GNX 14. Actually, it's the GN 14. So we GNX 4, Type GBF, and the Renato brothers mobile suits. So, we had the other brother, who had the Striker Jinx, and then the other two had these. Now, unfortunately, this is just a single pack. I don't know why they didn't sell it as a double pack. I really wasn't paying attention when I got it, or else I probably would have bought 2. However, being that this is P Bandai, clearly, it was rather expensive, sadly. But you do get Bandai 2018 down there, Bandai logo down there, GNX 4, Type GBF, Renato's mobile suit. Turn this way, you've got BandaiHobby.net, all the things. And, you know, this is a P Bandai box, so there's not anything to look at. By the way, you guys can hear, this is pretty heavy. There's still some stuff in there. And you've got 3-year-olds still don't like new Jinxes in their face, because the little guy with the toilet, 2,000 yen, not even close. This was about 45 from American retailers online, like I tend to get most of my P Bandais from, so it was a bit more pricey. But either way, you know, it does cost a bit more over here. Of course, it should be about 2,000 yen like the normal Jinx is, but it was about 45. Now, is that worth it? I don't know. But it's a new Jinx, totally upside down, just like the other one. Okay, so now let's get to the reviews. Alright guys, so here we have the 2 Renato brothers suits out here, and looking, well, green. So we have very, like, kind of muted, more foresty green versus, I don't know what's going on over here. This one is a very interesting, like, military color, and this is as well, but not in the same way. The Renatos were some very kooky brothers. They were very strategic, and like they're like really ridiculous planning. Remember, they had the Gym Sniper K9 in the first season of Build Fighters, so they moved on. And in this particular case, they used the Jinxes, and of course, the Cherubim Saga was also in the same build, or Battelogue, I should say. I was build log, but it isn't going to be here in this review. Now, there's something a little bit different, because this one is at least definitely based off of Jinx 4, where this one is not. This is actually based off of the GNX Advanced. Now, I sort of said it the other way around earlier, my mistake. But it has very similar aspect to some of this kit. One thing I found out with a few of the P-Bandai kits as I've been building them, they share a lot of stuff across the board. But in this case, this guy has some very specific things for him, but might borrow a couple things from a Jinx 4, which this is almost a perfect representation of a regular GNX 4. I'll look at this one first, just because it was in my hand. I dig the new look. So the head is ever so slightly different from a normal Jinx in that it has these new face plates that kind of come across forward, along with this one having a bit of a almost Gundam-like V-fin. But other than that, it's a little bit different. Now, this one was also slightly different in that it only has 2 eyes instead of the usual 4 in an X pattern. The chest is exactly the same. The legs from the knees down are exactly the same. Actually, I take it back. From the hips down, they're exactly the same. The hips are totally new and different, although you should recognize them a bit from a different Jinx that we've looked at before, and it is this boy. So something that was not, I don't think I paid attention to whenever I was building it, that the Ogre Jinx, or Jinx Ogre, however you want to say it, is a Jinx 4. So crotch-wise, it's an Ogre Jinx. Or see, look, it's exactly the same side skirts, everything like that. These new, what I assume are weapons, attached to the crotch. Now the butt skirt's going to be different just because Ogre, but for the most part, exactly the same. I forgot about even the legs being essentially the same, with the expanded armor being the only real difference there. And by the way, guys, just as an addendum to something I was looking at the other day. So the little eye right there, so the big mono eye, like cool look that he gets, this actually is very, very similar to the back of the head of a 00. Just go look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. But either way, a lot of the parts that go into this, even the shoulders here. So with the exception of the spiky bits, the same shoulders and stuff like that go into a GNX 4. Of course, you can see even the chest armor is the same, just different coloring. So it's pretty cool. So when I was building it, I'm like, wait a minute. This thing I've seen before. But it's pretty cool. For the most part, articulation is going to be the same, and because we want to get to this review as quick as possible, I'll just talk about details, differences, and stuff like that. So one thing that you got to do on this guy is apply a lot of stickers, which I didn't do. I painted. So you get all of the same circular bits on the hands and arms and everything like that. However, what I tried to do here, clean off some excess there, is match this lightish grayish brownish color, and I think I did okay. I believe even the side of the head up there is the same, so that color to this color to that color, even down to the feet for the ankles and that. One thing I didn't do, I only did one side of the knees where I normally would paint that, so I only did this one and did not do that one, so they don't match. But I think this is actually supposed to be a lighter gray, so I think I did a good job of color matching. I think it looks really, really good. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Even on the back skirt back here, got the same kind of paint. It came out pretty good. I had to thin it out quite a lot, and it worked. So even some of the green might be coming through it and helping tint it a little bit. And then right here on the GN drive area, that all got painted. And I used brown panel liner on the tan, and I used green panel liner on the green Just breaks it up. I like the coloring. It does look like a very jungle-ish color, but something about this head sculpt is very, like, parrot-like to me. Well, I want to see that. It looks like a bird. I mean, I really do dig it, though. But yeah, so let's look at the Striker Jinx up close. Check out some of its stuff before we really get into a lot of the weapons and other gimmicks. So you do get this lovely green color. It's coming across a little bit more blue on, at least on the screen for me it is. It may not be for you guys. You've got the purple sensors right across the front. Looks pretty cool. I did hit it with some of my favorite dark gray ever for details, like here, and on the back there. You got this cool arm shield here. You got all new arm armor that clips on from the front and the back, clips together. It looks pretty good. Also, favorite dark gray over there. Same thing on this side. You do get this little triple cannon on the side here. It looks pretty cool. It does rotate. It's on the same, like, ball joint mount, more or less, that all the other things are. I think you can technically pop that off and have it sticking straight out if one wants to. The circular bits here all got hit with favorite dark gray ever. I missed the knee joints on this one. Didn't care too much, to be totally honest, but I got the ankles. Now, I'm only going off of the stickers for that, and pretty much every one of these comes with a set of stickers. So, same thing with the ankle guards. As you notice, it does come with new feet, which are pretty cool. Nice heavy-duty feet, and because this guy is a gunner and a sniper, kind of, he does have to have some heavy-duty feet to keep him in place. Now, he does actually have these Advanced Jinx type legs, and I think we may have gone over that. I know Chris and I talked about it on Monday when we looked at the Advanced Jinx, but I don't know that we actually compared it on screen, and sadly can't do that now. But you got a little bit of gold paint inside those thrusters there. I like the color separation from the gray to green to the light green. Looks really cool. You got this all new crotch skirt here, which is, I think, specific to this thing. It is on a minor hinge, although you really don't want to go anywhere. These kind of move about. You get these new side pieces here. From this crotch, it is a very, very specific piece, though the back skirt is identical to all early GNXs. So this guy is a normal GNX for the most part. This backpack is all new, though. It does rotate. Up here, it plugs in to where the GN drive would go. You got the little defender thingies, little shieldy thingies. I thought that's what they were, but I didn't have confirmation. It's weird that they can do this. So you got this really nice extendable arm. You can spin these. They do look a little like GN drives, but it is what it is. These are stickers. I wasn't going to try to match that lightish green because I didn't think I had anything remotely close to that. Even the couple of Zaku greens I have probably wouldn't match up to this too well. Speaking of that, you got green panel line marker for the green parts and gray panel line marker for the grayish brown parts. But this thing is really cool. It is slightly limited on its articulation only because stuff starts to hit. I did accidentally pop off the shoulder armor the other day because it happens. Now, to show off that it is like a Jinx, Advanced Jinx, you grab the head, just head armor, and there you go. That is an Advanced Jinx head, specifically. And I like this. I really do dig this Commander fin. But I'm going to show you guys here in a little bit, once we get through weapons and stuff, that you basically, with only a little bit of modification, can probably end up with a green version of the Advanced Jinx if you try, instead of having to buy the P Bandai HG version, which is out, or will be out sometime soon, so therefore won't actually be in this 00CTOBER. So let's go ahead and put this guy's head back on him, which, by the way, I actually really appreciate these stickers being so good. I know that Rodimus did not use them on his. He just painted it gray. I think it does help, realistically. But if you were going to paint it a different color, I would leave those off and just color match to whatever it is you wanted. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and look at the Type GBF, so the Jinx 4. We'll go ahead and look at its weapons and stuff like that, because it's kind of easy, kind of not at the same time. So, first and foremost, you get these cool beam sabers. I like that they give you these bright orange ones, so that's actually, considering the ones I've done lately, these were very specific. All the other ones have been pink. So to get some orange ones is pretty cool. There's no storage for them, but you can, of course, hold them, like so. Now, I did a thing. I'm not going to really allude to it too much, but I did create some Beam Saber storage on a different kit. I didn't actually utilize it, but I probably can if I really felt like doing it. If you have some Beam Sabers, like some spare ones, cut it off to about right there, about 1/8 of an inch. So cut it off to about 1/8 of an inch at a slight angle, and glue that little piece right up inside there, right behind the butt, or right behind the hips. And you can tuck your Beam Sabers right there. Like I said, I utilized it, but I actually didn't end up using it in the end run. But there's a tip if you want some Beam Saber storage, at least on your GNX 4s. As for other ones, like, say, like the Striker, or anybody that has the older style butt skirts, you could probably put it laying down sideways right here. It'll just be a lot more obvious and not very hidden. So you would have to find somewhere totally different to store your Beam Sabers. But if you're down for that, by all means, go for it. So let's pull these out and we'll look at more weaponry, because he has plenty. Now, you can build this guy 2 different ways or customize it. So if you want to go for one way the brother does it, so you've got the Shorty shoulder pads, which I actually really like the sleekness of that. I kind of wish it was a feature that was on more of the other kits. So you get this little ball joint peg here. But if you want to go for one of the brothers, you take the cool GN Buster Sword, which actually is actually from there is a, I don't think it's the 24th century pack, but it could be. I don't remember. But there is a weapons pack that you can get this sword. In fact, you can get probably, I think, all the weapons out of this set in that. But it looks pretty cool. It's just a couple pieces thrown together. He does hold it like you do. Big old Buster Sword. Looks pretty cool. If you want to apply an edge to it, you can. I think in the images it shows that the center section should be a different gray. But, you know, is what it is. Now you do mount it to the left shoulder as such. And it acts kind of like a shield and a sword together. So, looks pretty cool. Now the other thing you get, which I believe is also part of that weapon set, is a GN long rifle. Looks pretty cool. I do dig this, and it's different from all the other Jinx rifles we've gotten before. So I dig it. And it does have handle down here, a plug to go into the arm, where you normally would. Has another plug right there that I'm not entirely certain what that's for. Unless it's for, no, too big for that. Too big to go there. It has to plug into something. I'll have to look it up on the... Oh, I got it. It plugs in on the butt skirt. Oh, I was wondering what that was for, because I've seen it on a couple of these kits. I did not realize. So, I mean, it's a little ungainly, but that's pretty cool. I knew there had to be something for that slot. Plus, you guys know I love me some weapon storage. So, in the hand, into the forearm, big, strong weapon. Actually, in some ways similar to the original GNX long rifle, but it doesn't use the standard base Jinx rifle for a weapon. So that's pretty cool. It actually is its own thing. And you do have a flip-out handle right there. No purple sticker for a camera, oddly enough, or anything for the tip of the barrel. I like that more snipery looking barrel. And if one is so inclined, you can, in fact, dual wield it to some degree. Using all of the articulation at your disposal, you should be able to dual wield this. There we go. So tilt the sword back a little bit and fly along, like, or whatever sound they make. I can't really imitate the sound of a GN drive. I don't know. But that's pretty much how you make one of them. So that's pretty cool. And something that they both get, I think. Like I said, I don't know. I have to look at the pictures. Hold on. Yeah, either one of these can use them. So you've got some extra GN particle tanks that also act kind of like thrusters, I think. So you've got the end of it, which goes this way, I believe. Oh, I gotta unpeg the arm, or else I can't do it. I believe it goes on like this. Oh yeah, it goes on like that. That's cool. So it's a particle tank, and I think a thruster. I think that's what comes out of there. And like I said, this can go on either version. I really wish they had sold this as a 2-pack, like 2 base GNX 4s. and you just choose which weaponry and which loadout you want, because I think that would have been much better than selling it as an individual kit that can be set up as both. I guess they hadn't learned their lesson from IBO yet, which is strange in and of itself. All right, so let's go to the other version. So we need to pop that off. Need to pop that off. Remove this guy. And if you pull the front of the gun off, you get a stand-in, which is much shorter. And some of them just show this with a little silver right here. That's up to you if you want to go ahead and do that. But a nice stubby version of the rifle, which nothing wrong with that at all. A little bit different from the way the old GNX did things, and that's also pretty cool. But you bring in these ridiculous GN shields. I say they're ridiculous only because they're so big. And you should recognize these as well to some degree from the Ogre, because the Ogre came with these parts here, but not this part. Since they're dual runner or dual colors, it did not come with that. Now, to give him just something else to do, you can totally give him a beam saber, or the nice expressive hand that he also comes with, so he can be a little bit different from his actual brother. I actually like this version. I like the long shields on the wings. I think they do look pretty cool. They do have these gray thingies underneath that I don't know what they do. They're not beam sabers. They might be grenades or something. Don't know if the box covered that in the instructions. They tell you to put them in there, but I don't think they tell you what they are. So, it is what it is. But you can totally choose however you want to do this. You want to go one big GN shield with the sword, with the shotgun. You can totally do that. Or just whatever you want to do. It is what it is. Alright, time to look at the Strike of Jinx a little bit closer, or at least for putting on his weapons and stuff. Now, the shoulder armor right here, or shoulder shield, it does come with two of these. You can do 2 shields and 1 set of guns if you want. It just depends. It's all on you as a personal preference. Just remember how this is plugged in there. Oh, okay, so that's just, yeah. So it's not mounted the same way as the other one at all. I was wrong. But you do get one big weapon for him. You do get 2 beam sabers as well, but you only really need the one to go on the end of this ridiculous, what they call GN Smart Rifle. This thing is absolutely insane. This is a huge, huge cannon. Like, what the heck? And if the keen-eyed viewers will notice, yeah, that's a normal Jinx rifle right in the middle. And he's got these 2 extra bits. This thing is insane. And you can see I added some gray paint to it just to differentiate different parts of it, because otherwise it would all be this brownish color and be a little bit boring. The pipe here could use a little bit of paint, silver, gold, green, whatever you want to throw on it. And you do get the beam bayonet, or the GN bayonet, however you want to call it. I like that feature. That's pretty cool. Of course, I believe you can do that on other kits as well. But, it is what it is. Now, he can hold this ridiculous thing. Not by this handle, although if one were so inclined, you could probably... Yeah, you can do it that way. Actually, it doesn't look bad that way. Just kind of have it tucked off to the side a little bit. Just whatever. Of course, not connected to anything like the normal rifle would be, but, you can fix that if you really want to. But you're supposed to do it upside down. So you got these 2 handles. This one, which is plugged in where the normal extension handle is. So you want that one off to the side just a little bit. This one moves the same way. So if you want it kind of locked in place, you leave it like that. And you drop it into that hand. It's going to turn one way or the other, so you can do however you need to do. And then you want this hand to come around and go inside there. And honestly, there you go. He's holding the big ridiculous gun. Well, he was holding it until he let go. I do wish that these handles weren't round. I wish they were square to match the thing. So even if they were square, they'd still be on these swivels. So you could really make it work, but it would stay in place. However, this does give you the kind of slung look a little bit. Let me rotate this arm so we can use that elbow to our advantage. So if you want to tuck this hand like way back and, you know, shoot at stuff way over there, totally can do that. Although, once again, that does come out. I feel like if they had done the handles one facing one way, one facing the other, it would be a little bit more stable. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. If you want to, you rotate the body just a little bit. Choke up on the weapon a little. Get those big old feet employed there. Now, the only thing you lose, you could turn the head, but you can't tilt it. So you're really limited by that. And that kind of sucks. But if you want to, you can. You can try to straighten the gun out a little bit so that it's not so whatever. So you can straighten it out like that. And you can turn that hand one way or the other. I just did it upside down. So it looks really cool. You know, so I mean, even bring in his older bro here. So I mean, these two together are pretty awesome. Let me get a picture of that. Now, I did say I could show you how to get most of an advanced jinx out of this guy. Now, you're going to need more than this. You're also going to need a bit of this. So I'm going to strip this gang down just a little bit, and we'll go from there, along with taking this stuff off. So we'll start with the gun, because it's the easiest place to start. So you can come back here, remove this. That's where the plug for the forearm goes. You can remove this part. You're like, oh no, how is he doing that? So remove all that. Remove that. I wasn't paying attention, sorry. And you want to plug this back on, no problem, like that. And then plug this back on like so. And like I said, you can keep that bayonet on there if you want. It's up to you. Technically speaking, this would be removed for the standard elongation thingy. But he can hold that for now. Now you want to come up here. You want to pop that shoulder armor off. You want to pop that weapon off. That went flying. Go ahead and set all our spare parts aside. You want to grab the entire crotchal area. Go ahead and pull that whole piece off. Looks pretty cool. You can leave the butt skirt on because it's the same. You want to come back here, remove the entire backpack, which is not hard. It's just plugged in where a GN drive would go. And you come up here, yoink, oops, yoink this whole thing off. You feel cooperate. Oh, what am I doing? I don't need the whole thing. I only need that part. Yoink that part off. Yoink the head off. Yoink. I should have started off with just yoinking. That sounded weird. You could take off the shoulder parts. Okay, so we can set aside all the things we don't need. Now you can go ahead and attach these. So you can already see how it's shaping up, quite literally. Okay, so now that I've got the regular GNX stripped down, take the GN drive, slap it on here. Let's get a little color differential. You can take the shoulder armor. This is the standard shoulder armor. It's super easy to pull off and put on. And you just line that up, slap that in there. Oop, drop it. Tab the front one in here. Oddly enough, the color separation is not going to look too bad on this, I think. If you guys can't tell, I've gotten good at building jinxes. Get back in there. So you've got your shoulder armor. You need the regular chest armor, which does just tab in right in here. You want the crotch armor. which thank God just swaps over, no problem. Just got to watch those super big thighs now. Take the shield, kind of stick it up under the other rotating shield part. It's a little harder to do on this one than it is on the regular, if I'm honest. Okay, so shield there, rotating bit there, and last but not least, come to the feet. And the cool thing is, if you put the feet together like this, they tend to want to stay, so you can literally just swap them out like this. It's kind of cool. But, well, that wasn't. If you want to, you can just swap the bottoms out if you're going to go there, but if you just grab the whole ankle, it comes out right there at the ball joint, or at the ball joint polycap. And for the most part, that should look very familiar. I mean, the only difference is the biceps. I just wasn't going to swap the entire arm over, although you can. If that thing had the elbow or the forearm connector, it would be a little bit more stable. But for the most part, you can make your own advanced jinx. And of course, if you have the lance, which I don't know where my lance went. If you have a lance from a GNX 3, like this guy, you can modify it a little bit, shorten it. There's probably a formula to it. There's probably another specific weapon that you can borrow from. It looks like the rifle. That's one thing that's a little bit weird about it. The part of the handle and stuff like that looks very similar to the way the rifle looks. What happened to my focus? Okay, focus is back. But either way, you can basically get yourself a cool striker jinx if you want, with a bit of advanced jinx to it. So you're going to spend kind of the same money. So basically you end up with a kit bash version. But if you want to save a little bit of money, I mean a little bit at this point, if you have a regular GNX and a striker GNX, you can pretty much make yourself a cool... Actually, the color scheme, this ruins it a little bit, but the gray and the green, honestly, isn't that bad. But a little bit of paint, you can make it your own color scheme. You can make it a Deborah's custom. And if you put that little bit there and you leave this little part as a normal one, you can totally do it. But there's your Striker Advance GNX plus X3. They don't make this advanced part right here. They don't make the advanced Proto Lance, so that kind of sucks. Alright guys, so for final thoughts, this is a cool set. Mind you, they don't come together. I think they should. I think that they should probably sell a 3-pack, to be totally honest. So this guy, along with two of those with a set of weapons, and it'd just be worth it. You know, sell for like 70, 80 bucks. Get all three, and you have your Renato brother customs all together in one shot. This one's cool just because you can create it two ways. This one's cool because of the giant enormous weapon and the armor that is mostly bespoke to it. But then also the fact, if you really try, and you throw in a little bit of original jinx, you could totally get yourself an advanced. With the exception of one weapon that seemingly you can't get anywhere else. But I do really like these things, and some of the more enjoyable parts of Jinx Week came from at least this guy, just because it was my first real GNX 4, even though technically before I realized that the Ogre was. I might have to go back and rewatch that review and find out. Now, if you really want to get interesting, start kit bashing with the Ogre parts. Like those giant feet and those giant ankle skirts. You could probably get some pretty ridiculous stuff. So, I mean, if you really, really want to get into it, I mean, you could even add these extra GN pods back here onto the back of his shoulders, and it would totally work. As for kit bashing jinxes, you may or may not see something like that at the end of the week. Because Jinx Week ain't over. So we still got one more video from normal, quote-unquote, normal jinxes tomorrow. And then after that, you might see something cool. Maybe. I don't know. Then again, you might not think it's cool. We'll see what happens. But guys, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a big ol' thumbs up and hit that like button as well, and the subscribe-ish button. I guess technically the thumbs up is the like button, but go ahead and hit that. I really do like these two. I think it's great. I like the whole aesthetic of a Jinx 4. It is pretty neat. And go ahead and check out the Shorty shirts, including the amazing new 00CTOBER 2018 tour shirt. You need to get that by all means, because it does take a while to get it printed, but they are printing them every 3 days. If you order it, go ahead and grab that so you guys will see it. And of course, there's also hoodies, lady shirts, even coffee mugs, as you should have seen already. So, guys, that's it for this GNX 4 type GBF and GNX Striker video. So make sure you come back next time to see what we have in store. And remember, as always, to keep on building.